Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre tours a local sawmill the same day new U.S. tariffs take effect. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Ryan Benazzo. Poilievre spoke with workers at the local Domtar sawmill about the new 10% tariff the United States has put on softwood lumber in addition to an existing 35% tariff. He also spoke about other federal issues. When asked what measure he'd take if he were in power if mills are forced to close, he said he'd unlock federal dollars to keep people working.
We'll make sure that they get the EI and other benefits, but we have to fight to keep the jobs and keep our people working. Canadians want paychecks. Paychecks are the only way to sustain a family and support a brighter future for the country. So I would take emergency action to unlock hundreds of thousands of annual new homes being built every year with Canadian lumber so that we can take advantage of all that extra lumber we have to house our people who desperately need roofs over their heads. And that means let's get rid of all taxes on home building. And then you imagine the building boom we'd have if you got rid of $200,000 of taxes on each home.
The Thunder Bay Police Service is getting more than $1.3 million from the province for a pair of programs. One allows officers to team up with crisis workers on mental health calls, while the other is to improve forensic efficiency. Jaden Billick has the details.
These projects reflect the Ontario government's ongoing commitment to stronger, safer communities across northwestern Ontario.
The province is investing $815,000 in the Thunder Bay Police Service's Mobile Crisis Response Team. That money allows officers to team up with trained crisis workers from the Canadian Mental Health Association and the Thunder Bay Regional Health Sciences Centre to provide better, specialized support for those in the community experiencing mental health emergencies.
The impact funding really is about having those mental health workers coming with our officers. So it's been ongoing. I'm not sure the exact timeline. I think probably since before I got here. It's really important because we can better treat them and have them not become involved with the police. It's less work for the police services. So the more that we get other agencies involved in this type of thing, it means a lot. And this is a way that to continue this program and to expand this program.
The province is also giving nearly $500,000 for the Advanced Forensic Technology and Scene Efficiency Initiative to enhance the service's ability to tackle gun and gang violence with new forensic tools to improve crime scene accuracy and speed up investigations.
This is really a great opportunity for us to continue with the modernization that we're doing with the way that we're going about our programming and really about finding some of the most effective and efficient ways to do the work that we do and provide the best service possible to this community.
Two great programs with Thunder Bay Police Services. So something that they've been talking to us about for a while and an area that they could use that additional support, and the government are happy to support those two programs.
Jaden Billick, TBT News.
We now know the identity of the man who was shot and killed in Ganoogaming First Nation last week. OPP haven't released his name, but the victim's family has identified him on a GoFundMe page created to help with funeral costs. 27-year-old Sebastian Toagishig was staying in Ganoogaming. His parents were urging him to come home to Thunder Bay because they feared for his well-being there. The violent incident took place on October 8th, resulting in Toagishig's death and leaving another man in hospital with serious injuries. After a 2-day manhunt and lockdown in the community, OPP arrested 2 teenagers from Brampton on Thursday. 18-year-old Quentin Hooper and a 15-year-old boy were both charged with second-degree murder and attempted murder using a firearm. OPP continued to ask for information or surveillance footage from around the crime scene on the day of the shootings. The second-degree murder trial of 43-year-old Cameron Adamko resumed this morning at the Thunder Bay Courthouse. Day 5 saw testimony from Adamko's longtime girlfriend who saw him on the day his stepmother was murdered and says he was acting paranoid. Jonathan Wilson has the details.
The jury heard that Cameron Adamko was acting nervous, impatient, and uncomfortable in the hours after Darlene Giba's death. The 67-year-old woman was found murdered in her home on East Mary Street on June 27, 2023. At around the time her body was being discovered, Giba's stepson, Adamko, met up with his girlfriend and asked her to go for a smoke with him. She told the court Adamko was not like himself, acting paranoid and frequently looking over his shoulder. When she asked what was wrong, she said Adamco told her she wouldn't be too happy with him if he told her. The witness later said that Adamco had only known Jonette Sonego for about a week before the murder, and Adamco had denied having any kind of relationship with her. Sonego was originally a co-accused in Giba's murder, but pleaded guilty to concealing evidence in the case, and is now expected to take the witness stand at the trial sometime this week. Jonathan Wilson, TBT News.
The ongoing strike at the province's 24 colleges is now entering its second month. Support staff, represented by the Ontario Public Service Employees Union, continue to walk the picket lines, and students at Confederation College are feeling the impacts. The strike by OPSEU members began on September 11th after contract talks with the College Employer Council failed to produce a deal. The union maintains their demands will strengthen student learning conditions and their role in the success of those students. However, those we spoke to today are being negatively impacted by the ongoing picket lines and not having support staff available to them.
Whenever I have to catch the bus home, I have to walk all the way over to the other side instead of just stopping at the bus stop here, which is a little inconvenient. It's a bit of a hike.
It's just that the bus doesn't come around like most of the time this side since there are people striking.
Doesn't really help students, seeing as, well, if we're getting all our stuff from AI or from out of town, then, well, sometimes we don't get responses as quickly as we would if we could just ask someone.
Lots of shutdowns for the bathrooms, so we've had a few stalls get shut down. A lot of the accessibility doors haven't been working.
The CEC and OPSEU are currently engaged in mediated talks and weren't available for comment today due to a media blackout during the negotiations. The City of Thunder Bay's waterfront bus terminal will remain closed for about a month longer than expected as construction and renovation work continues. Officials say the upgrades will improve the safety and accessibility of the terminal, creating a better space for transit users, but the project is delayed.
Construction will continue on through into December, and our anticipated opening date will be just prior to Christmas.
The work carries a price tag of just over $3.2 million. The renovation is in line with the city's goal of reaching net zero emissions. The terminal will have a fresh new look with additional interior and exterior space for waiting passengers, new destination electronics, and overall accessibility improvements. Transit Services Manager Brad Loroff says the delays are construction related and more additions will be made to the temporary terminal on Cumberland Street for the colder weeks ahead.
So what we've done is we've set up a temporary terminal on Cumberland in front of the Wayland building. Those operations will stay until the new terminal is open just prior to Christmas. We will, before the end of October, be moving in some larger canopies to provide a little bit more protection from the inclement weather when it is going to come later this year.
Well, good news for motorists. There seems to be a gas war happening in Fort William First Nation. Drivers on City Road are celebrating the prices dropping below $1 a litre for the first time in over 5 years. The competition for the lowest price appears to have started when Bannon's Gas Bar reopened a couple weeks ago after installing new pumps and other renovations. Their original price was $1.09. That prompted other gas bars on City Road to keep posting even lower prices. As of earlier today, K&A Gas Bar was selling a litre of regular gas for 96 cents, while Bannon's and several other stations were at 99 cents. The manager at K&A won't call it a gas war, but he likes what the owners are doing with their prices.
I think that Crystal and Bill do a good job at, like, if the gas cuts 10 cents, it cuts 10 cents to the customer as well. They don't take any more than they need it, and we still do like a cent a litre a day. We're open 364 days a year, and they're really good people to work for, and it really is local. Yeah. Like and we do strive to do our best here.
A Thunder Bay man is $90,000 richer after winning the top prize on an OLG scratch ticket. 54-year-old James Steves says buying scratch tickets is part of his weekly routine. He was recently at the Circle K on Red River Road and noticed there was only one ticket left for the 90s instant lottery game, so he decided to buy it. He was hoping to win $90, but he ended up taking home a lot more than that, 1,000 times more to be precise. Steve says he plans to invest his winnings and save for his future retirement. All right, well, congratulations there. That is a nice little surprise. Haley, I don't know that I would call it a surprise at this time of year, but it was certainly a chilly start to the morning, and given the great conditions that we have had, folks may not have been prepared.
Yeah, no, today was a bit startling to see some frost out and about. As my aunt likes to say, frost on the pumpkin, which means, you know, it's that time of year. It's the changing of the seasons where we're really starting to see the shift. It's not just what we see on our calendars, but it's what we're actually seeing outside. There was frost on some rooftops and sometimes on pumpkins as well. Now, it was chilly as around 7 this morning, we reached our low of -1, so a little colder than we were expecting. There was a wind chill as well, making it feel like -3. So just as people were getting out and about, many people getting ready for work for the day, it was at its coldest. So you may have been shocked to see that, although we have had a nice warm up. We warmed up to 12, which is right around seasonal. If you want to get technical, 1 degree above seasonal, so not too bad. That happened around 3 o'clock, so we're about a degree colder now, but still not too bad. We also saw a mix of sun and cloud. It was very variable today. It mattered whether you were on one side of the city or the other, and at what time, depending on whether or not you'd see some clouds. So really, I saw a lot of sunshine today, but that could have just been me. I know that some areas on the south side of the city were a little bit cloudier at times. Winds, not too bad, which is good because we've been dealing with quite a bit of winds lately, so nice to see that die down. And that was the trend across most of the region, not as windy today, but cooler. We're seeing temperatures 7, 8, 9 degrees is the trend. And it was a little cloudier up in Red Lake compared to here in Thunder Bay, but their winds were nice and light. They're still at their high of 7 today. We see 7 down in Fort Frances. They're a little bit cloudier. There's a system to the south that could peak up a little bit later. Very slight chance of showers for Fort Frances, but right now they're just overcast skies. And yeah, once again, the trends were pretty steady for most of the region. We're seeing consistent temperatures. So for us in Thunder Bay to reach 12 degrees, that was quite nice today, as most places only got to around 8. And winds are fairly light, mix of sun and cloud for a lot of central areas. Then areas like Greenstone, they're really nice and sunny right now, but they saw winds from the northwest a little bit gustier than elsewhere. They still had a bit of wind this morning around that 20 to 30 kilometer an hour mark, so moderate, not too bad. As well as areas to the further southeast, we saw a little bit of wind as well, but not too bad. We're seeing 11 in Sault Ste. Marie right now. Their winds were more from the west-northwest and up to 40 kilometers an hour. So they probably got the most wind, but really, for a day like today, not a lot to talk about because it wasn't that bad. Pretty close to seasonal. Skies were a mixed bag. As for tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 3, winds light from the northwest. And now a low of 3 is above seasonal still. We are looking for around the freezing mark for this time of year. We were a little colder than predicted last night into today, so that could be a little colder by the time we reach tomorrow morning. But hey, Ryan, we got to take what we got. Above the freezing mark tonight sounds good to me. So we'll see where it goes from there, but we are looking at a much more seasonal week.
All right, well, we will just have to take what Mother Nature is willing to give us. All right, thanks a lot, Haley.
No problem.